Hey everybody, it is the start of a Veto Saturday. Let's talk about the past day of feeds. Keanu did indeed nominate Vince, Morgan, and Mickey as I suspected he would yesterday. I am still contemplating if I like how Keanu is playing his HOH after I have dogged Keanu's lack of oxygen that goes to his brain all season, because that's why he is so stupid about things every single day. And as Brian Owens said in the comments yesterday, he asked me, "Did you say Keanu and a good idea? Woo, you must be exhausted." And I was. That was my I haven't slept in 24 hours brain yesterday. So maybe that's why I actually had to compliment Keanu for once. I don't know. But I still actually do mostly understand where Keanu is coming from so far as HOH. In the comments, another commenter, Lady Loves Blue, said, "As much as I enjoy seeing Keanu serving Vince tough love, I still think he is mostly blaming evil Morgan for all of Vince's bad behavior. I truly think he believes if he gets rid of her, then he will be Vince's number one at long last." Yeah, that's a spot on comment. We've seen Keanu now talking about how he just wants Vince to choose him. He keeps choosing Vince, and Vince won't choose him. And yeah, it does seem like now that Keanu's HOH, he might want to be using his power to somehow make Vince be his number one for real this time. Maybe Vince will finally choose him. I think Keanu is hoping that Morgan goes and that Vince is closer to him. And I don't hate that idea. I think that Callie and Lauren are hoping that this is Keanu teaching Vince a lesson. So it does strategically make sense for Keanu, I guess. The big issue is that Vince is such a weasel. Why do so many people want to work with the weasel? At what point do you just cut your losses? I think that's why I still have a problem with the thinking or lack thereof this season with a lot of this cast. Plus, these are truly the type of players that I hate. The type of players that Kelly, Lauren, and Keanu are. They refuse to actually attempt to have a social game. They could be working other people. It's the missing link. Well, other than, the missing link that they have in their brains. But they're still missing the link that this is a social game. I think the blockbuster doesn't help. These are the people that talk around Callie because she wins blockbusters and that's it. Talking around how we win all the competitions. Yes, there's competitions, but at heart, this will always be a social game, and they refuse to have any social game. They could be bringing Morgan closer to them this week if they really wanted to. Morgan has been becoming upset with Rachel right now because she feels that Rachel might have just used the judges for 1 week, and Morgan was pushing so hard to Vince last week to keep the alliance safe, and this week she feels like Rachel isn't going strong for the alliance, and Rachel's not really going strong for the alliance. So if Rachel's going to continue to have this "I'm loyal to my allies" game, it might not look like that after this week. But since Morgan is becoming upset with that, Lauren and Kelly could work with both Vince and Morgan. That would be more numbers for them, which they now need. But no, they won't put in the work or just any gaming in general to make it happen. And then you have Lauren calling all of Vince's moves scared, which he is a weaselly scared player. But that's Lauren talking. She needs to sit her courage the cowardly dog ass down because she is probably the most scared player in the game. We've seen her barely be able to talk to some of these people in the house when she needs to make a move. So, yeah, I won't ever feel bad for Callie or Keanu because of that, because they refuse to at least attempt to have a social game. What also kills me about Keanu is now he is going around wanting to make sure Vince is saved this week by the veto. But it's like, if that was your plan all along, why are you putting up on the block? Okay, so you wanted to scare him, you wanted to give him some tough love, but we've already seen many times this season that if you nom a player that you don't actually want to go home, they still might go home. But I guess it's just once again proving how dumb of a cast this is. You don't put up players you don't want to go home. That's the name of the damn game. On one hand, I feel like Morgan had some good talks with Keanu yesterday, and Morgan gamed so hard that she could get out of this without even winning the veto or the blockbuster. On the other hand, though, I do feel like Ashley and Mickey will see how over concerned Morgan is for Vince's game. Morgan is falling back into the same thing that hurt her with Zach and Vince initially. Because Mickey and Ashley have clocked that she's now more upset that Vince is on the block, that Vince is being nominated instead of Mickey, who's also on the block, or herself. Morgan herself is on the block, and she seems more upset that Vince is on the block. This is the same way she used to play when Zach was in the house, too. It was always, let me throw myself in front of them if I have to. And it's like, I respect the loyalty, especially in a season where nobody's loyal. But at least let's be smart about it. Like, you're just painting your both of you as bigger targets. This is why people want to split you up this week, because of the way you're going about it. It's just so obvious. As for now, though, as it stands today, Morgan should have the numbers to stay if noms stay the same this week. If she's on the block against Mickey, she probably stays over Mickey. If she's on the block against Vince, she probably stays over Vince. And Mickey could and maybe should easily be the one to go home this week. Her social game has taken hits this season, as we all know. So we'll see what work she puts in. Will she win another competition with her back against the wall like she has the past 2 weeks in a row? That's always possible, although the numbers in the veto are not in her favor today. Vince has people that still want to keep him, but I don't know if he has enough people against Morgan. So that is a possibility where Vince actually does go home this week right before jury, although I have a hard time seeing it. Also, Vince's victim game, where he puts himself down and he puts his game down. Like, how are people supposed to respect your game when you're always trashing your own game? He uses it as a manipulation, the woe is me, I suck, to make people feel for him. And it works because these people don't have brains, so it works. However, his end game is very strange to me. Because, yeah, how do you respect someone like that to win in the end? Because not only might Vince make a bitter jury because of the way he screwed people over, but if he makes the end, will people actually respect someone who has called himself a bitch that makes scared moves? I don't know how. I mean, I wouldn't make that decision, but I'm not dumb as shit like the Callies, the Keanus, the Laurens, the Mickeys. So they might just be dumb enough to still fall for that in the end. With Rachel in jury, though, I don't know if she is in jury and she can talk to people about Vince talking shit about his own game, that might go bad for him. Because how do you respect someone's game who's shat on his whole game all season? It just doesn't really make logical sense to me. But do these people have logic? I don't know. One of the only people that has had logic all season is Ashley. You all know my love for Ashley. I think it's because this cast has been so bad game-wise that having someone like Ashley is just a breath of fresh air. And not only is she good at the game, but she's very entertaining too. She deserved a better cast, honestly, is what I think for Ashley. But Ashley could very well be the renom this week. I think she likely is as it stands today. Ashley wanted to win veto, so at least she knows where she might stand this week, but she wasn't picked. Vince's groupies were picked, Lauren and Callie. So Vince basically has 4 chances to win the veto today, I think. I think if he wins, Lauren, Callie, Keanu, they all might use the veto on Vince. Callie might be the exception because, you know, she likes to say that she wants revenge on Vince, and she likes to say that Vince deserves like some payback, but her actions all game have proved that she's just another Vince groupie constantly, no matter how many times he screws her over. So unless Morgan or Mickey win, I expect the renom to change. And right now the renom is probably Ashley. I kind of get that from Keanu. Like, if Ashley does happen to go home this week, which she would not against Mickey, I don't think, but she could against Morgan. I think Mickey would be the deciding factor if it's Ashley and Morgan on the block together. If Ashley goes, I think Keanu might think that pulls Rachel closer, and it might. Rachel's game with Keanu, I'm still over it. I'm over the whole frenemy shit. I think it's been BS for weeks now. It stopped being entertaining to me, and every time Rachel goes back to Keanu, I don't like it and I don't respect it. I mean, I guess you can say it kept her safe this week, making Keanu feel bad about that, but it's just happened too many times where going back to Keanu has blew back up in Rachel's face. And if it happens again, nobody should feel sorry for Rachel. But yes, if Ashley is the renom and goes, I mean, my interest is going to take a hit. Like, my interest in the season will take a hit because the rest of this cast is always so loud and wrong. And I like having at least someone in the game that's always actually thinking logically. It's a nice change of pace of watching a lot of these other players that just suck or don't even play. Ashley was already thinking that Keanu wants Vinny to himself, that if Morgan goes, that might be Keanu's plan. But she has her own plan that she wants Vince out this week, which is, I think, why she actually wanted to win Veto, to keep noms the same. I don't know if she necessarily thinks she's going to be the renom, but she might want to start thinking that. Ashley thinks that if Vince goes this week, that brings Morgan closer to her, and it probably does. That might even bring Lauren closer to her, and it might, because Lauren has nobody besides Callie. And Ashley already clocked that Keanu was just basically wanting to teach Vince a lesson this week and would probably use his own veto on Vince, and she's right. That about sums up the past day. I mean, I think this week is also good for Ava so far. If she's not the renom, I think she's in a good spot for sure. And it's not because she games, no, not at all. But as I've said all season, Ava makes really good one-on-one connections. And because of the way the week is going, if she's not a renom, she might once again kind of fall as this middle player that could float, which is her best kind of game. So I think that's good for Ava. Lauren and Callie see Ava as a middle player, and they're kind of right because she's not in the judges. So they see her as a player they can pull to maybe be a number. And maybe, I just like that Ava has at least made up with Ashley. I hope it stays that way. I need Ashley and Ava to give me some entertainment a little bit longer. We still have a month left in this season, and there's some people on feeds I don't like watching anymore at all. They really grind my gears. So I need people left that I actually do like watching. That would be nice. All right, I've rambled long enough. So Keanu's HOH is going well enough. I still don't think if he wanted Vince to go home that he should have even nominated him in the first place. I don't know how Vince will feel being nominated by Keanu since he did keep Keanu safe last week. I had some comments about that too. But it seems Keanu, Lauren, Callie want to just scare Vince this week and hope that maybe the Weasel will finally choose them. But it's so high school. Choose me, instead of just cutting off the Weasel if you have to. If they continue to let Vince play all angles, I just can't feel sorry for them, and I don't feel sorry for them. But I also don't want Vince to win the game because he's played such a the sloppiest of wannabe mastermind games ever. And I don't know if he has the vote to win right now because of the blood on his hands, because he's shat on his game all season, like I said, but we'll see, because this cast is, if this cast is one thing, as a collective, it is dumb.